It was 2022. I was 1 year out of high school and I'd lost all my friends, and one day I was just in my room doom scrolling on my computer, and then all of a sudden I came across this video that really caught my eye, and it was literally about doom scrolling, and I clicked on it. And little did I know that this was one of, if not the first ever motivational type of video that I would ever watch in my life. And did it push me away? Did I want to click off? No. It captured me. In fact, it had such a strong grip on me because it promised me something very special that I'd really desired. And it was the woman. It was status. It was feeling desired. This was what this video brainwashed me into believing that this was what I had truly wanted. But I can't lie to you and say that I didn't have a giant smile on my face, because I did. This was genuinely what I had desired for a very long time. Because when growing up, it always just felt like I was empty. Always just super empty. I didn't have a very fulfilling childhood, I'd say. I was always picked last when it came to sports. Some of the friends that I'd have would have girlfriends, and I'd just be there, feeling super lonely and alone, just wanting to know what that feeling was like. I didn't really get made fun of, but rather, I was always that one kid who nobody even remembered. I'd be in the room, but nobody knew I was in the room. I went to this party this one day during high school, and I kid you not, bro, nobody even remembered I was there. Nobody knew I was in the house of that party. And this devastated me. This really did devastate me, because I'd feel very alone, physically, but also mentally, and this made me believe that I was very behind in life. I was very behind. Everybody else was so far ahead of me. Everybody else was doing something so cool. I was just home all the time, doing really nothing. I always kept comparing myself to the people around me, because that's literally the reality I was living, right? And so I would mask that pain by doom scrolling, by video games, because video games was the only place where I felt like I belonged, where I felt like I wasn't really behind in life. I felt ahead because I was high ranked at video games, I had status, I had the things that I wanted in real life, but on video games, on games like Overwatch, highest rank in that game. And that was around the time where I had found that doom scrolling video, which I had believed was the best thing to ever come across me in my life. Because I had started going to the gym now, improving my appearance, doing the things that the video has taught me to do on how to live a better life. And fast forward 1 year, and I'd make pretty good progress, you know? I was consistent in the gym for a year, made pretty decent gains. My appearance was slowly starting to change. My mental health was getting a little bit better. Things were making progress. And this already made me feel relatively better, because I realized that I was already doing more than my high school friends, who weren't really doing much with their lives. And I was happy until one day when I was doom scrolling again on my phone. And since my phone is literally full of these motivational reels and TikToks and stuff, I one day doom scrolled a bit too much. I came across this very successful person who had everything that I had been working for. The money, the woman, the status, everything. And he seemed so far ahead of me. And it seemed like the progress that I made in 1 year wasn't jack shit compared to what this guy had achieved at such a young age as well, around my age. And this heartbroke me, because I felt like I was behind again. And so after that point, I told myself that I would start working even harder, because the fear that I had at that moment, the fear that I was feeling of me possibly not being able to attract my dream future girl, or living the perfect luxurious life, whatever it was, that fear that I was feeling was consuming me. The fear of missing out, because I don't want to miss out on that. This was what I thought would make me happy, right? And so I went double time. And fast forward to 2024, And at this point, I'm actually now getting matches on dating apps, and women seem to be a lot more attracted to me now than 2 years ago. But there was one issue. I still felt empty. I still felt behind. And now it's 2025. I grew this YouTube channel to over 200,000 subscribers. Love you guys. My physique is quite a bit better than it was before. I'm making a decent amount of money, nothing crazy, but it's a lot better than before. I got the quote-unquote status, whatever, like mini fame. I'm not famous at all, bro, but sometimes I do get recognized in public. But guess what? I still catch myself feeling behind, comparing myself all the time to people who have more fame, more money, more women, whatever, than me. You see what I'm trying to get at? If you're under 21, 20, 15, 14, 30, I don't even care how old you are, please, listen to what I have to say. I haven't garnered the most success, but I don't think that's what measures what I'm about to talk about. And this would have meant a lot to my younger self, who really just needed to hear this 2 years ago. It would have saved him from a lot of pain. You aren't behind. You're not. And I know it might seem like you are. Everywhere you see, there's something to compare yourself with. Everybody is showing you their best selves. Everybody's telling you how you should live according to their standards. And you're right here comparing yourself, stressing yourself out because of all of this comparison, comparing yourself to everybody who is doing better than you are. And social media has made it 50 times worse. Because everywhere you see, there is just some way to compare yourself. Everywhere. But I mean this with all my heart. And I genuinely mean what I say. You are not behind. In fact, you are doing really well. And I really mean that. You are doing extremely well. You, my friend, even if you don't believe me, you're doing good. I can tell if you're watching this far in a video like this. Of course you are. Of course you are. You and I both know we are going to keep on getting better and better and better. Right? You know that. So what's there to worry about? What is there to worry about, my friend? It's nothing to worry about. You know, comparison, it takes the joy out of life. It kills it. It kills it. I will bet this with all my heart, bro, but you will be so glad if 1 year from now, 10 years from now, 30 years from now, you live a life that isn't bound by the comparison of somebody else's life. That isn't bound by somebody else's ideals, somebody else's desires that have been placed on you, that had made you believe that this is what you had wanted, because you have no idea just how much a little bit of comparison can change the trajectory of your entire life, can make you go down a path that you never wanted yourself, simply have just been put onto you. You can waste years, decades, simply because we see how cool their lives are. They got the girls, they got the money. I don't want you going down that path. I don't want that happening to you. I'm not saying you shouldn't go for those things. Go for it. Go for it. But having your life being dictated by the comparison of somebody else, now that's not a life I want you to go down. I won't let that happen to you, my friend. I won't. Because I wasted so much time, mental clarity, bandwidth on things that I thought I had really desired and needed. The woman, the money, the status. I've realized that those things are important, yeah, but in terms of what actually makes you happy as an individual, it's not going to be based on that superficial shit. It's not. On the things that you compare yourself with, to people on social media, to your friends, it's not going to be based on that. It's not. It's based on how much peace you have inside yourself, within yourself. And that isn't something that is necessarily bound by the superficial stuff. I mean, heck, the fact that I feel sometimes the exact same way of feeling behind in life now that I felt 3 years ago when I first started, that says it all. That's all you need to know. It is full proof of that. And I'm not saying that this was all for nothing. Absolutely not. This was the best decision in my life. My life is 50 times better now that I started improving myself as a person. Started taking care of myself, built up this channel. Best decision of my life. But I'm just saying this, bro. Comparing yourself will kill you. It will kill you. Because just imagine how peaceful your life will be if the only person in this world who you compared yourself with was yourself. Nobody else. Imagine the peace in that. Just think about that for 1 second. Imagine the peace in that life. Social media sucks the joy, the peace, the happiness out of our lives, dude. It really does. It really, really does. Because your peace as an individual is priceless, man. Man, it shouldn't be anything you should even consider negotiating for. Not for money, not for that girl, not for whatever, bro. Your peace is what's really important. And that's constantly being stripped away by that last reel that you watched, that TikTok. What's the rush? There's so many things that just distract us from what really matters, from what truly matters in our lives. The truth is, we don't need more stress. We don't need more dysregulation in our lives. We don't need to work 24/7 just to feel okay, just to feel like we're not behind. Don't let these distractions, these people, this comparison get in the way of what you really want. What you really want as an individual, what your good heart really desires. And I can guarantee you, if you've watched this far, it's not any of the superficial stuff. It's not. You probably, if I were to take a wild guess, you just want peace, happiness, love, good people, a good wife, a good husband, whatever. You're not that complicated of a person, are you? So don't let social media, don't let these people make you believe that you need those things when you don't. You don't. The truth is, we don't need much to be happy as individuals. We don't. Don't let them convince you that having more is better. Because oftentimes it's really not. Having more does not necessarily correlate to being more as an individual. It doesn't. This isn't me telling you to just be lazy, by the way, if that's the impression that you're getting. Not at all. Work hard, be a disciplined guy, bro. I'm asking you to just admire what's already there in your life right now. Because I can guarantee you what you have right now is already enough. And you might not feel that way, but it kind of is. The world that we're living in is a fast one, bro. It will try to convince you to pick up speed. And if you don't pick up speed, you will lose out. That is what the world is going to feed you and is feeding you right now. And it helps us stay disciplined, right? Absolutely, but just don't lose track of who you are as an individual, why you started in the first place. Remember, you don't want any of the superficial shit. I know you really don't, do you? That's not what's going to make you happy. You're a simple guy with a good heart. Everybody takes it at their own pace. It's good to be a disciplined, hardworking individual. Just stop comparing yourself so much. You are not behind. And I just want you to know that. No matter what part of life you're in, I can guarantee you, bro, you are not behind. You're just comparing your worst self to whoever on social media, to whatever, who literally is only showing you their best selves, which is most likely a lie most of the time. Nobody's lives is as perfect as they make it seem to be. Everybody's fucked up in their own way. Everybody's got problems to deal with. We're all the same. Yes, even that guy who's got all the women, all the money, all the status, he is going through something that he can't even fathom right now. And he just doesn't show it. So let me say this one last time, but you're not behind. And look, I just don't want you to think of this as any other motivational garbage video. I'm literally just speaking to you as if you're my brother or my little sister. That's all it is. That's all this video is, right? Because I mess up all the time, I really do. I catch myself comparing myself all the time, bro. It's normal. I feel behind all the time, but it's a normal feeling. It really is. But this would have meant a lot to me 3 years ago, knowing the fact that I wasn't behind. I wasn't. It would have saved me from a lot of headache, it would have given me a lot of peace. Peace that I would have used. That would have been nice, you know? I would have still worked hard, but I would have had that peace at the back of my mind knowing that things were going to be okay, because the reality is things are going to be okay. You know? We're just in our minds a bit too much. Things will be fine. Don't stress over the little things too much. Alright? You'll be alright. You'll be fine, bro. Just keep a good heart. Things will always work out. And I mean that. I really do.